Good morning. It's Wednesday, May 27th, 2026. We're here for the Franklin County Commissioners meeting. I will now call the meeting to order and ask that you join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Adoption of current agenda.
Mr. Chairman, move for approval of the agenda as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Public comment. Is there anyone in the room today for public comment? If so, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Good morning, Michelle Andrews, Franklin County. I see that we have the Benton Franklin Transit here at this meeting, and I do not mean disrespect, but we have addressed this transit group many times about the overage on their taxes on these citizens. This is not just a representation of these men on this dais. This is a representation of the people in this community. It is outlandish that you think you need to have a driving training center. You have 3 freeways and two counties and cities to practice your driving, and that's where it should be. You're continuously using money that can go elsewhere. We have the ARC today. We have mental health. We have taxes of 0.6% that afford you $100 million. And these cities need that money. You do not. You do not. You can suck up your belt for a while and serve your community. That is what public service is. That is what public transit is about. That's what every single government entity is about, is serving their public within the parameters of the Constitution. And so getting taxes and continuously overruling us and telling us that you have to have a referendum, no, but Ben Franklin Transit, you have the choice to put your taxes away for a while and let this community thrive. We have an overwhelming tax burden from our state. We have no relief. We have encroachments constitutionally, and it is your job as you live in this community and thrive and earn your money and your security for your family to serve this community as so. Thank you.
Anyone else in the room for public comment?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Marcy Torres, and I'm a member of Franklin County. Yesterday, I sat in court with one of my clients. I did his gutters 4 years ago, and he has been trying to adopt a child that he has been fostering for the last 5 years. As I sat there in court, it was very disgusting to me, the fact that someone can go be on meth in 5 years, can't produce a clean test. And Judge Whitmire, who is the same judge that refuses to give me any kind of visitation with my son without supervision, gives a mom access to pick up her son for unsupervised visits, while she gets a free cell phone, free housing, free food, and has been through all the programs that all these people that show up when there's money on the table. So your taxpayers, you guys drag them, and we have to fight for every dime that we work for. But for people that are on drugs, do I have to come here and say that I'm on meth so that I can get a public defender? This woman has a free attorney representing her. And what did we get? We got a workshop. This is really embarrassing. In 5 years, you cannot produce a clean UA test. In 5 years, you cannot do the right thing for your kids and get off of drugs and meth. Can you guys tell me how she's able to afford drugs? If I can barely afford to pay for the roof over my head, how? We need to do some accountability And we need to look into the programs that are getting funding, and someone needs to do that immediately. Who's going to pay all these taxes you guys want us to pay to fund all these programs? Do you think these people that are getting free attorneys, free services, free phone, free food, do you think eventually they're going to foot the bill for you guys? I highly doubt it. And though I do believe that some people do change, it's a very small percentage of those people that actually want to do the right thing. If in 5 years your kids haven't been important enough for you to get clean and do the right thing, we have a huge problem. And these parents, all they want to do is adopt this child so he can have some stability, some love, and someone who truly does care about him. But the parent that's not doing their part, they're able to pick up their child for unsupervised visits while on drugs. And that's disgusting.
Anyone else in the room for public comment? Is there anyone on the phone? Approval of consent agenda. Oh, I'm sorry.
Andy Revis, I'm a member of Franklin County. I want to, couple things. I want to piggyback on what Marcy was just saying. We talked last week about the need for all these programs if it wasn't for the family court. My two children that were taken into custody by the Franklin County Sheriff without a warrant and ended up in CPS care. They turned 18, didn't have a driver's license, didn't have a diploma. They were on the road in my home to having a driver's license, having a high school diploma. They got taken and fell through the cracks. If we as parents do not, if we miss a couple days of school, or then they can take our kids from us because we're neglecting their education. But my children missed so much school being in foster care, but it didn't matter because they were in foster care. And it's just really, really disturbing to me that these judges and commissioners can take children, and the social workers are just fresh out of college. They've never had children, but they can tell me and parents that have children, have experience how to raise their children or what they're doing wrong, and that they can do it better. And these things are disgusting. And then we end up, I know my children were doing drugs. My children were alcoholics at 18 years old because of the trauma that they had been suffering. And 88% of the trafficked children in the United States of America come from the foster care system. That's disgusting. But yet we make these programs to try to cover it up. We put all the money into the programs and not into actually helping families. Like Marcy said, we work our rear ends off trying to make enough money to pay for these things. And then we have people in this county using taxpayer funding to push their personal agenda that they're frustrated with. We are paying for these people to push their agenda, and then we're the ones left fighting for our children, our rights, what we want. I want to real quick. I know you guys can't interact with me, but a couple quick questions about all the drama in the county. The one question I had: does the jail staff use a patrol car? I don't know anything about all this. I'm reading all these stuff that's all over the internet, and that was a question I had. What's the patrol car have to do with jail staff? I don't know. I'd like an answer sometime. Thank you.
Anyone else in the room for public comment?
Good morning, I'm Melissa Good, and I'm a member of this community. Back again to continue on with the saga of talking about the grooming of my daughter in high school. So the court decided that the claims were unfounded. The school decided that the claims were unfounded after a theoretical investigation. Fast forward a few months later, my daughter comes home from school and she says, "Mom, you'll never guess what everyone is talking about at school." And I said, "What's that?" She says, "Everyone found this teacher's TikTok account and what he is subscribed to watching." I said, "Oh, well, I'm going to check that out, aren't I?" So I indeed did. He subscribed to multiple accounts of young minor women overtly sexualizing themselves, troubled young girls, exactly my daughter's age. I took screenshots of many of these accounts. I have a stack this thick. Took them to the school, made copies. I have a bunch of copies. I brought a few today just to let everybody see what he's looking at. These are the more innocent ones, the more tame ones. But he's completely innocent. He's not grooming. He wouldn't do a thing like that, right? So why is he looking at accounts that have last pics at school of young schoolgirls in their little skirts? What does a 50-year-old man have interest in when it comes to young girls about ready to graduate? This is another one of the accounts. She says, "I have no friends. I've been cheated on numerous times. I'm constantly slut-shamed and body-shamed. My nudes got leaked in 7th grade. Everyone thought I was pregnant. Everyone in SAC has probably seen my nudes. I'm so close to getting expelled and ruining my future. It's not even the second week of school and I'm already failing. My life is falling apart, but I'm pretending I'm fine. LOL." What is a grown man who is an educator doing? Exploiting, watching girls exploit themselves who are young and vulnerable and clearly troubled, having some problems there, wouldn't you say? Here's a picture of this young girl, everything I just read. She looks like she's about 15. She's got a teddy bear behind her in her lingerie. But this is innocent. This is not a big deal. There's nothing to see here. He's innocent, right? Young girl in her pajamas lifting up her top. Really? That's innocent? Another young girl with her little sister. Why is he watching this stuff? Young, barely pubescent girl. Barely. I'll continue.
Anyone else in the room for public comment? Hearing, seeing none, moving on to approval of consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move for approval of consent agenda items 1 through 9 as presented.
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Regular business, Ben Franklin Transit update presented by Kevin Sleeger, Ben Franklin Chief Planning and Development Officer. Good morning.
Good morning. Should I sit right here then? Yes, good morning. So my name is Kevin Sliger. I'm the Chief Planning and Development Officer with Ben Franklin Transit. I know you three well over your time with the Ben Franklin Transit Board, so I just wanted to give a brief update on Ben Franklin Transit and really focus on some of the new services that we're providing to Franklin County. And after that, we can get into any questions you may have. So first, I wanted to go over BFT, what we do. So we provide public transit in Benton and Franklin counties. Last year, we provided over 3.6 million rides. We're considered a large urban transit provider by the Federal Transit Administration. We're funded through local sales tax as well as state and federal grants. We serve a population of around 290,000 in a 625 square mile service area. And so BFT has been operating since 1982 and has been a mainstay in this community since. So moving on to our PTBA, our public transit benefit area. So you can think of this as the service area or the taxing district in which we collect sales tax and provide service in. The majority of our services are provided in Benton County, although Pasco and Franklin County do make up about 8% of the total land area. But we do see about a third of our ridership come from Franklin County. So I'll get into that here on the next slide. So our total system boardings over the past 3 years and really since 2020 have been climbing rapidly. We saw about a 4% increase in Q1 2026 as compared to 2025. So we're seeing great ridership growth on all of our modes other than our rideshare mode. And then I wanted to really focus on ridership by county. So you can see here we do about 1.8 million rides, or last year provided about 1.8 million rides on our bus alone. And then just south of 1 million in Franklin County. So I mentioned a 3.6 million number earlier. This is the ridership across all of our modes. On our bus service alone, we saw about 2.8 million rides in 2025. So this is the real reason why I'm here. I wanted to promote some new service in Franklin County. The summer's going to be really busy. We have some service changes going on. We have some fan zone events related to the World Cup and our new Route 61. We're also providing service to the Amazon facility with one morning trip express route that will be aimed to serve the folks that work out at Amazon. Currently, the shifts are just a little bit too early for our current service to meet the need, so we're trying one trip out to, again, provide that service. We'll have service at the fan zones 4 times throughout the year, so the fan zones will be watch parties essentially at Geisa Stadium and the surroundings. BFT will provide grant-funded shuttle service from our transit centers to those 4 events. We're also looking into a flea market shuttle, which we'll pilot this fall. That'll be a service that serves downtown Pasco and the flea market, as well as the Wheat Line shuttle, which I'll get into here in a little bit. So one of the routes I really wanted to highlight was our Route 61. So this is a route we're putting in place that will serve various areas of downtown Pasco, including the Columbia Basin Veterans Center. So when we set out to provide a route directly to Columbia Basin's Veterans Center, we also thought, how can we better serve the Pasco community? So this route will also provide new service to some of the residential neighborhoods along the river and provide direct service there. So I also wanted to let the commissioners know that veterans ride free. This is something that you all had a hand in putting in place, and it's been a successful program. We saw almost 35,000 veteran boardings in 2025, and we expect that number to go up as people learn about the program and start to ride services like the Route 61. So moving on to the Wheat Line, this is an exciting service. It's not provided by BFT, but it's provided through the state, through WashDOT, but it's what we call a intercity route. So it provides 2 shuttle trips a day between Spokane and Pasco via various points along that route. But I think what's key for the Franklin County Commission here is that it will be serving Connell and Mesa directly. So those trips will be by reservation, but again, this greatly increases the amount of public service, or transit service, I should say, available to North Franklin County. And this shuttle is really meant to connect more rural areas to things like shopping, the airport, and then provide, again, a trip between Spokane and Pasco. Now, rates will vary based on where you are. We currently charge $150 for our service. These rates will be quite a bit more than that because it is a longer trip, but again, the rates are based on where you're coming from and where you're going to. And I did want to state again that this is not funded through BFT, it's funded through the state. So with that, I can answer any questions. Again, I wanted to highlight some of the new services. I know there's been discussion about BFT at the Franklin County Commission meeting here, so I'm happy to answer any questions, happy to come back for routine updates, and I'll open the floor up for questions.
Do you have any idea what it costs to go from here to Spokane?
I believe it's between $35 and $40.
What is the current budget at Ben Franklin Transit?
Our current operating budget for 2026 is $65 million, so that's operating. And then our capital program, which is a budget over 6 years, is currently at $205 million. We expect to spend anywhere between $20 to $25 million on capital in 2026. The majority of that spend is actually on replacement vehicles, but we do have some ongoing projects like our facilities maintenance building, the training facility that was mentioned. That won't be complete in 2026, but we're in the planning phases of that project.
How many employees are at Ben Franklin Transit?
Our head count is 429. I believe we're just south of 400 right now.
Yeah.
So that's approved head count, sorry, at 429.
So, Mr. Chairman,
So I just have one other question. So for the budget, your operating budget is 65 million,
Yes.
and there's 290,000 population in the Tri-Cities. So that cost every single person in the Tri-Cities $224.
Over the course of the year, if we spend that, yes. But
That's every person.
yes, I believe we collected somewhere between 57 million in sales tax. So that is technically the amount that is being paid.
57 million in sales tax in 1 year.
Yep.
So that's 6 times higher than what we collect for mental health. And when I say it costs $224, that's on your numbers, and that's every single person in Tri-Cities, not family. If you have a family of 4, that's $1,000 a year that's costing you. Have you ever entertained the thought of going to like an Uber, rideshare? Because I think that would be a better service for everybody. I mean, I don't think that everybody would use it probably to the extent that it was constant, but the few people that do ride it would be able to probably get a lot better service, and it would also open it up if somebody needed a ride to the airport or something like that. But have they even entertained that thought of entertaining it?
So we have a service called Connect, which is what we call microtransit. It's an on-demand service that's powered through an app. You can also call in, but about 98% of customers use the app to book the ride. Now, this is really meant for lower density areas or areas where there's not much transit to begin with or none at all. And I think in some areas it is definitely more cost effective. But if you have enough ridership in certain areas, then it actually becomes less cost effective, right? Because with an Uber type service or an on-demand type service, your best efficiency you're going to get is 4 to 6 rides per hour, right? And we have the capacity to move a lot more on the fixed route. And currently we're moving about 13 an hour on the fixed route at a cost of about $7 to $8 per boarding, as opposed to $25 to $30 per boarding on that Connect service. So I think you're correct in that it makes sense in some areas where we're picking up less people. But I would say if we were to remove service altogether and just replace it with that on-demand service, you would be moving less people for a higher cost. So to me, the approach is a hybrid approach where we allocate our resources where they're most effective, and then not, provide the big buses in areas where there isn't demand. But that's currently the conversation internally. So
I can see the fixed route, taking kids to the water park that's getting ready to open. I think
Yep.
that would be a good service, but
Yeah.
I have concerns when I can stand on a street corner and see 3 buses pull up at the same time, and there's only one person on each bus.
So it's, our mission to grow ridership. I know there's concerns about empty buses. We see full buses. There's times where they're empty. I'm not going to stand here and tell you otherwise. There are times that they're empty. But again, we think in some areas it's much more cost effective for the bus. But we're continuously trying to be as efficient as possible. I think the issue we run into here in Tri-Cities is travel time, right? Taking the fixed route or the bus, the public bus, takes a lot longer than just driving your own car. And so we're looking to address that need with more express type routes, grow the ridership, and make sure we're as efficient as possible.
Well, I definitely think it's concerning when I've been watching the buses constantly for the past 10 years. And I will tell you, I hardly ever, I'm saying 90%, 95% of the time, I only see 3 people at the most on there. There has been a couple occasions where I've seen buses run school kids and they're full, but that's probably I've only seen about 3 in 10 years, other than going to the fair. When they do go to the fair, those buses are full. But even when they're at the fair, the amount of supervisors I see out there is astronomical. So with that, I'll open it up.
Mr. Chairman?
Questions.
Yes. So Kevin, I have a few questions here. How much money is in the reserve fund?
Right now, I believe it's closer to $90 million.
90 million. And currently 18 years and younger ride for free, correct?
Correct, yeah.
We have safety officers now that are riding the bus?
We do. We contract through Allied.
And are they counted as a rider when they board the bus?
They are not.
They're not. And I, with Commissioner Mullen, last Thursday I came in for my granddaughter's graduation from kindergarten, where she recited the preamble to the Constitution, all the presidents, all the states, all their capitals, and all the books in the Bible. Kindergartner. It's incredible. But saw 4 buses, counted a total of 5 people on the 4 buses I witnessed. When we apply for these state and federal grants, we have our hands tied, don't we? We have to comply to what they mandate us to do.
It all depends on the grant criteria, but in some cases, yes.
And currently, what is the date where we got to be fully electric?
There is no mandate.
There's no mandate to be
No
fully-
mandate on the state level. I think they're going with the incentive approach.
Okay.
There's no mandate at the moment.
But we are buying electrical buses.
We bought 2 electrical buses or electric buses that are currently in service, and then there is a plan to buy 2 more. Now, that is our current plan. That's where we're going to stop. Obviously, if we get different direction from our board, that will change. But we currently got 2 charge point chargers to charge these 2 buses, and we're able to daisy chain them to add 2 more to that. So, we're doing a lot of analysis to see how effective they are. We'll bring a recommendation to purchase 2 more in the future. The board will decide from there, but currently that's where the plan ends, to expand any alternative fuel buses.
And as a board member, I'm going to voice my opinion on that, and I would say after reading this right here, this paper, and I'll read it aloud here. It says, Washington EV bus operators expose Wild West chaos in green transition. Taxpayers foot the bill for failing electrical fleets. Public transit officials in Washington state are sounding the alarm on the rushed electrical vehicle bus mandate, calling the industry a lawless Wild West that wastes taxpayers' dollars and stranding fleets. Everett Transit Fleet Manager Tony Camaraderie told the Electric Vehicle Coordinating Council that vendors are unreliable. They go out of business left and right. He warned there are no rules governing this chaotic sector. Camaraderie highlighted the major headache when EV companies collapse. Local governments are locked out of charging infrastructures because of priority software that isn't released. Everett spent $700,000 replacing chargers only for Borg Warner. Do we do business with Borg Warner?
We do not.
To bail on the business, leaving them without parts or support in about a year. He slammed wireless and inductive charging systems as unreliable for depot use, saying manufacturers aren't truthful about limitations until after millions are already spent on installation. On the buses themselves, Camaraderie described them as basically a rolling computer with batteries on it. Sensors fail routinely, triggering high voltage alarms that shut down the entire bus. Every couple weeks you lose a bus to something like that, he said, adding they lack the personnel to keep up with constant breakdowns. Walla Walla Public School Transportation Director John Griffith echoed the frustrations with charger reliability despite some upsides like quiet operation in cold weather. He also raised red flags about a new state law on EV bus depreciation reimbursements, warning it will hurt in 15 years and advising districts to avoid them until fixed. This mess exposes the reality of forced green energy policies, unreliable technology, collapsing companies, and massive costs dumped on the local taxpayers and riders, while politicians chase climate virtue signals. Washington's EV experiment is proving once again that top-down mandates don't deliver results. They deliver breakdowns, waste, and regret. That is what's happening in Washington State due to this Climate Initiative Act. So I would strongly urge, and I also ask that Ben Franklin Transit, please hang on to that slush fund, that emergency fund, because we're in troubled times right now, and we're seeing it out in the farmlands. With the high fuel costs, you should be seeing in 18 years and younger, your buses should be full of people, and they're not. Because people want what? They want their freedom to move when they want to move. And they're on a regimented timetable with the bus system. There needs to be some transportation available. I think this transportation avenue that we've taken is too big for our city. I think we are spending way too much money. Thank you.
And if I may just respond to the EV, many of the issues you listed out there are the reasons why we're taking a approach of caution, right? Right now we have 2 electric vehicles, and that's 2 of 71 vehicles. So it's a small percentage. And the vehicles that we received are from Gillig, probably the most trusted manufacturer in the country. But your point remains, and we need some caution as we step into this.
So whatever happened to the electric bus they bought a few years ago?
So I believe you're referring to E1, and so E1 was a bus that was a diesel bus that was converted into an electric bus. There was some funds through the state that funded that, and I believe BFT received that a couple years before I started, and I've been here for 10 years, so it's been about 12 to 15 years since we've received that, and we actually disposed of it last year.
Did they ever use it?
We did use it, but there were some issues. There were some limitations. Basically, we could only use it on flat routes, right, with no grade. And yes, there was a lot of issues with that particular bus. I think that was more to do with the retrofit that occurred, right? It was bleeding edge technology, so to speak.
So, I mean, it's obvious to see that the future is going to be driverless buses, driverless Ubers. Is there any thought into that? Because you're, in my opinion, you're working with a dinosaur.
There's no, I guess, serious thought at BFT right now about going that direction, but we have our finger on the pulse of what's going on a national and international level in terms of driverless and autonomous vehicles. And it'll always be on our mind. And I think it's important for an agency like BFT not to be on the bleeding edge of those type of things. simply because we don't necessarily have the infrastructure to make that implementation effective. But it's something we'll keep our finger on the pulse of.
So with the grant funding that you received in the past, there were stipulations on it that you couldn't lower your sales tax collected. When does that expire?
So there's what we're discussing here is the Transit Support Grant through the Climate Commitment Act. And by BFT providing 18 and under service, that makes us eligible for $3.5 million on an annual basis. It also makes us eligible for about $1.9 million in special needs funds we get on an annual basis, and then some capital funds. So from my understanding, there's talk that that fund may go away by 2030, but that hasn't been determined.
Like I said, I think that there's a need for some of the services that you have, but I think the big buses that are run around empty, either you have too many routes or, I mean, you shouldn't be able to stand at a street corner and see 3 empty buses pull up at the same time.
Noted.
Mr. Baumann, do you have any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Kevin, thank you for coming today, for sharing some of the things that are happening at Transit. You talked about the new wheat line funded by the state. Could you tell us about some of the other lines that also connect the Tri-City to Outlying? I believe there's the Grape line. I'm making up names now. I suppose there's a Hop line. Is there something that goes up the valley?
Yeah, so there's the Grape line, which provides service between Walla Walla and Tri-Cities. And recently, in the past 6 months, they've extended that line to go all the way to the valley. I believe Grandview is the terminus there. And then there is discussion of starting a route from Hermiston up to Tri-Cities. This would be operated by Kayak Transit, which is out of Pendleton, Oregon. This is a route that existed in the past, operated by Kayak, and they're talking about funding that and putting it in place again. So,
Thank you. I think it's important that Transit come upon occasion to do this. I invited you to come. You came. Thank you so much. I share some of the concerns with my fellow commissioners with ridership needs to increase. Driving empty buses is not an efficient thing. And to Commissioner Didier's point, the automobile has brought more people out of poverty than any single other invention that's ever happened in history. And I think what that is telling us, that mobilization, getting people freedom to travel is what that's telling us. I do, like Commissioner Didier, think that there is a need for, public transit to a level. And I have been watching as the chairman of the board of Ben Franklin Transit. You and I have had conversations many times, and as I have with other staff, about the need for efficiency and to use the tools that we have efficiently. And so we'll continue to have that conversation with you. Thank you for always entertaining the questions that I have through that, and think it's important that we continue to be more efficient. I think that some of the things that you have helped implement there at Transit, such as key performance indicators that you give on a regular basis to show what the efficiency is of the organization, I think that's helpful, and you coming today is timely, so thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
One more question.
Go ahead.
Well, I was just curious as to, just to ask Kevin for the public's opinion, the way we can address the 0.6% is either by the board of directors allowing the public, given approval for it to go to the public for a vote, or the public can create an initiative, right, that they could bring it forward for a vote on the 0.6%?
From my understanding, the only mechanism is to go through the board, but I'll have to double check on the public initiative. There's an RCW that governs PTBA guidance, so I will have to confirm that for you.
Because the last time they voted on this was I believe in 1990, when they increased it from 3 to 6.
I believe that was,
In the 90s?
there was an increase also near 2000 where we added Prosser, Benton City. And yes, it correlated with a tab tax that was taken away, I believe. And,
So
and then,
we're 26 years removed, or let's just give it 20. The populace of this area has changed, and we need to let them have another say in it. And if they vote for it, then we can just shut up. But we need to let the people, this is their community, we need to let them vote again. Just my opinion.
One other question, how do you count ridership? So if you got a transfer, does that count as 2 rides?
it does. We count it as unlinked passenger trips, so 1-seat ride. So if you have someone that gets on a bus, transfers, and gets to their destination, that would count as 2 boardings.
Well, I do thank you for coming today, and sorry to put you in the hot seat.
No, it's my job to speak to you all about how we're trying to make things efficient. And me personally, I'm all about transparency and being data driven. And the more I can do that, the better. So I appreciate the platform and appreciate the time. And I thank all 3 of you for letting me come and speak.
No, thank you for coming, and it's kind of cleared up some questions as far as the budget and how much you have in reserves. I think the public should be aware, because you have $90 million in reserves. I know a year ago, Franklin County had $300,000 in reserves, to kind of put that into perspective. And another perspective that I think the public needs to realize is that we do spend 6 times more on transit than we do mental health services. Again, there are some benefits that you do provide, and especially to the veterans. But I just think there's got to be a better way to spend our tax dollars. So anyways, thank you for coming today. I appreciate it. Any
Thank
further
you.
questions?
No, thank you,
And
Kevin.
one last pitch here, we will have a ribbon cutting for the wheat line. Commissioner Bauman knows the information. We're planning it for early fall, so we'll make sure the commissioners get an invite to that as well.
So with the wheat line, isn't that kind of directly competing with Greyhound?
Flixbus now bought Greyhound, and actually this was planned in coordination with Flixbus.
Okay,
So-
'cause I know they struggle to run buses back and forth between here and Spokane.
Yes, they do. So
So if it's not feasible for a private company, how's it going to be feasible for?
and I should say it is privately operated, meaning a private company bids to operate it.
Okay,
So
all righty. Well, again, thank you for
Thank
coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Presentation, Special Olympics, presented by Donna Tracy, Co-Executive Director for ARC of Tri-Cities. Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
I have athletes here. I'd like to invite 2 coaches up with me. Sharon comes all the way from Connell every week to coach for us in Special Olympics. And I'm going to have the athletes also share. We appreciate you letting us have a moment. I get to see how busy you guys are. And, but we appreciate our successes. So Sharon, how many years have you been coaching?
I've coached one of 3 Special Olympic bowling teams for 20 years now. Before that, I coached skills team basketball along with my husband and my daughter. We did that for about almost 10 years.
Traveling from Connell
Oh, yes.
every week.
But that's how important Special Olympics is. There's nothing up there for Kyle in Connell, and he loves to come down. He loves to bowl. He's golfed before, so it's very important to these guys. Many of them, when they leave school, there's nothing out there, especially when you're up north, Franklin, because I know kids that are stuck out in Basin City twiddling their thumbs.
Would you mind speaking into the mic so that there's people watching online? It's really helpful for them to be able to hear. Thank you so much.
But yeah, it's really important, and we do really appreciate all the support we've gotten in the past. And then we have Martha, and she is a bowling coach.
I am a bowling coach.
And aren't you a swim coach too or something? I can't keep up with everybody.
Okay, so I've been a coach for bowling with an assistant coach that is sitting in the back, Elena. I've been coaching for almost 5 years. I started this because I noticed my son need to do some kind of sport. My son is sitting right behind me too. And I can see him sitting in my house in the room without doing anything. So I stepped over and I became a coach for almost 5 years. I am also assistant coach for basketball skills. And it's been a joy for me to support not just my son, but everybody else in our community. We really appreciate your help that we've been receiving during the years. And it's just a need in our community for our kiddos, that they're just adults, they already graduate, and there's nothing else in there for them to do. Thank you.
And then we have a few athletes who want to share their successes, because we have a group going to the spring games here this Saturday. They're traveling on a bus, and we're sending them over to represent. They've already gone through the regionals. And so who do we have going to state? We have
Brandon Jones, which is my
Alex
son.
coming up, and Brandon, you're coming. Eddie? Here's Eddie.
Eddie is yeah.
Eddie, so here's 3 gold medal winners, and they're going to be going for our spring games. We just had our winter games, which was basketball, and skiing stopped because we can't afford it. It's too much to ski, and so Special Olympics decided statewide that skiing's not happening anymore. It's just too cost effective, but we were making up for, we are starting a gymnastics group and a cheerleading group. So, and we have partners throughout the Tri-Cities helping us. Thank you, gentlemen. And I would love all the athletes to stand up. Guys, can you guys stand up? All right, and this is Franklin County. Okay, you guys can stand up again. Thank you very much. And these are some of our Franklin County athletes who live there. And really appreciate your support. We had the fall games here for a few years. I know Commissioner Diddler helped us, and Special Olympics got short on money, and COVID happened. Yeah. And so we had the games in 2019, 22, and 23. Due to funding, we stopped those fall games, but they are talking about bringing them back because they loved the Tri-Cities so much. There's real pressure. They thought we did the best games in the state. So our community really reached out. We filled the Hapo Stadium with people, fans in the stands, so it was wonderful. I appreciate all you do. As I listen today and hear our community needs, I realize your burdens are heavy, but I'm grateful for all that you do and helping think of all the people, and I know it's not easy. I would also like to just take a caveat moment and tell you how wonderful I think Edgar is. I think you hired a great guy for the Department of Human Services. He's already reached out to us and trying to help us be able to serve individuals. So I just want to compliment Edgar on and you guys' choice. So anyway, I didn't know if you had any questions. I wrote a report for you guys, and maybe want some questions?
Questions?
I need a little time to read through it and digest it.
Yes.
To the bowling coaches, I've tried for like 43 years to figure out how to pick up the 10 pin. Any kind of help would be more than welcome.
It's hard for my son, too.
Very hard.
Yeah, we got a few ringers in here, but that 10 pin's hard for everybody, so. And I can just go over a little facts about this information. Basically, in 2018, we came around to the cities, Special Olympics approached the Ark, and families did. Special Olympics was dying in our community. We went from like a 100-person swim team to 10. We used to be like a 100-person track field, maybe 125, and it went down to like 25. We weren't replenishing our coaches were retiring. All the office, it used to have a local office. Remember Paul Whitemarsh? Paul used to run a local office with the city of Pasco, and it kept it vibrant and accessible. When they moved it to Seattle, our families couldn't call. There was language barriers, accessibility, and we found it was just dying. And so we were approached for a couple years to ask the ARC to help, and we just didn't have the bandwidth. We were already serving a ton of people. But what we saw, kind of like the future, what you see, is that we needed low-cost service delivery systems for our families. Our guys only make $900 a month. That, Clifford, I moved Clifford next to me. And Clifford, his mom passed away, and she asked the ARC to help, and so I moved Clifford next to me. But $900 a month. So, thank you, Clifford. And Clifford, how important has Special Olympics been to you?
Good. It's very special.
Yeah. So it gives Clifford things to do that he can afford, because Special Olympics doesn't charge anything, and people donate their time. And so we recruit money for, uniforms, and we have to pay the rental fees, and some transportation cost and different things of that nature. Special Olympics itself pays for like where we stay at, food, on those trips. But more and more they're relying on local areas. So the ARC fundraises and creates an office. And one thing is they've gone digital to reduce their cost of employees. The problem is it's more difficult for accessibility. Digital, nobody can afford Wi-Fi, a fancy computer, language issues. So the ARC's open 50 hours a week. Beyond our normal service hours to make accessibility, we go to the coaches' practices with computers, signing people up to help make sure that's not a barrier for participation. So, I appreciate your continued support, and I didn't know if there was any additional questions.
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Yeah. You say you had an office in the Tri-Cities. Where was it located?
Oh, for Special Olympics?
Yes.
Okay, they had one. Paul Whitemarsh ran it out of City of Pasco for a while.
Okay.
Then Special Olympics, Pasco and the Special Olympics decided that it needed to go. I think Paul retired. And so it was over there at Lamb Weston building, kind of on there by the Costco. And then they had to close it, and then it moved to Seattle. So they've been operating out of Seattle for 18 years. And we were just dying on the vine because people couldn't go to the office. They need help signing up. And so in 2018, we went around and asked for help, and Franklin and Benton County said they would help us with millage dollars. Millage dollars are designed to help people with mental health and developmental disabilities. Traditionally, those dollars weren't used on behalf of people with developmental disabilities. They were always used for mental health. But we asked if they could target those dollars to help us with Special Olympics with people with developmental disabilities. And so those dollars are used to help us have a part-time staff and used to help us keep, rental fees and the cost of uniforms and all that kind of thing.
So, Mr. Danzel, I've got to ask you, do we have a disability fund in Franklin County? And I know you had some big sponsors, and I hope they're still helping you out, but this meeting's going out, and people listen to this meeting. And so hopefully maybe somebody's listening right now that would want to step up and have an office availability for you to use.
Yeah. Oh, and the office is housed at the ARC. We just gave up our space.
Oh, okay.
And the ARC of Tri-Cities has donated over, when we first started, we designated $50,000 of our own dollars.
Okay.
And then the ARC has continued to supplement any shortfalls. to support it. So the ARC's very committed. It's a group of, I'm a parent. Jeff right behind me, my daughter's at home working. And, but Jeff behind me, he lives with me, and Jeff has 10 hours of energy a day. His uncle couldn't do it anymore. He asked me to take over. I couldn't survive without these things. I couldn't support Jeff, else he'd be in a placement. Because I need to keep that boy busy. Jeff, do you like being busy?
Yeah.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, he'll just pace in front of the door until he gets to go out. And so if I don't keep him directed, he'll find a way to direct himself, and nobody appreciates that. My neighbors find him snooping in their garages and everything, and it's not pleasant. So I have to keep him busy. So Special Olympics really helps us families to be able
I
to
just
do
want to say thank you to you. You're an angel.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Brian had something.
Brian, do you have? Oh, I was just say thank you for all that you do and the volunteers. It's very commendable, and it's a great cause. And say congratulations to all the athletes here today. Thank you.
Thank you. And the volunteers are they give thousands of, I mean, it's volunteer ran. It's really volunteer ran.
And I meant all of you are angels.
Yeah.
I was getting my feelings hurt. I'm kidding.
Yeah, we're definitely a team. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate the
quick.
opportunity. Oh, yeah.
I was wondering, commissioners and Ms. Tracy, maybe we could get the athletes and the coaches. We could maybe take a
Oh, I
little
would
brief
love-
recess.
we
I could
would
take a
love a
picture in
picture.
front of the. Why don't we do that? I think it'd be great to celebrate
Yeah.
that, and maybe we can post that on our Franklin County Facebook page today. How
That would
does
be
that
so
sound?
great. We love pictures, don't we, guys?
All right.
Want to get up here? Come
So
on,
at this
let's
point, we'll take a
picture.
5-minute recess.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're ready.
All right. So we're back from recess. We'll move on to Human Services Update presented by Edgar Vega, Franklin County Human Services Director. Good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Well, I just want to give you guys an update on where we're at Human Services. So since our establishment just a few weeks ago, we have successfully made some progress and developed some programs that are going to help build the Human Services Department and continue, hopefully, to serve for many, many, many years. Serve the people in this community how they deserve, and with the focus of just Franklin County. To date, we have successfully established a veteran service position and have hired Mr. John Penny to serve as the veteran service officer and relief. Also will focus on the relief. This is a big deal for many reasons. In the past, there was two different positions. There was a veteran service position and a relief fund operator. Now, we got to take into consideration that it was a bi-county, so this person was more, you could say, busier, would see more clients. And so after meeting with...
Is your mic on?
Yes.
Would you talk more directly into it? Sorry, I'm hearing challenged.
No, it's fine. And so after talking to Stephen Gill from the Washington State Department of Veterans Affairs in Olympia, and speaking with Mr. Penny, we've decided that it was convenient to combine both positions and create a more organized and easier process for veterans to get funds and get relieved. This helps us in many ways. One, it reduces the cost that we have to spend on employing two different people, and now we're just employing one. And so that was a great, I could say, tremendous cost efficiency and saving money and saving that cost, so that funds that are related to veterans are targeted just for veterans and produce that and be there available for when they are required. We have also okay, wait up. I wrote this so I wouldn't forget, because if you can tell, I'm a little nervous. Normally don't speak like this, so I'm just nervous because all you gentlemen are great looking and can't concentrate. So we established office space at the Columbia Basin Center, so that will continue being servicing and housing our veteran service officer there. So that was an awesome thing. And then moving forward, I've worked with IS recently with Bo and Michael to purchase equipment for our veteran service officer, like a computer, a printer, and stuff like that. So I really want to thank them for guiding me in that process and helping me to create the purchase order and stuff like that. I recently met with Donna Tracy, which is, it's a hard act to follow that, and I appreciate all her kind words. But we met for many different reasons, but one, to create more of a developmental disability grant. Not create it, how do we prepare to apply for it? The state has a lot of requirements that, quite frankly, if it wasn't for her help and for other people's help, that I don't know how we would navigate that. To move forward that quick. So I look forward to meeting with her in the next couple of weeks as she has more information and she talks to the state and seeing how we can create that grant. One of the things for that grant is it can't be subcontract; it has to be in-house. So what do we meet those requirements? Also been in communication with Judas and Jessica from the CAC for office space. As you're aware, Franklin County, we have limited office space, and so they have office space that is going to become available later this year. So our growing department can essentially move there. And then, lastly, I'd like to thank Teresa and Jen. They've been great. They've been helping me out a lot. Mr. Denzel, Amanda. Isom, who has answered all my questions, and a lot of times my questions are very like repetitive because it takes me time to catch up. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. If you guys have any questions, I will try to answer them to the best of my ability.
All right, questions?
Thank you. No questions for me at this point.
Thank you.
I would say something. I'm excited that John Penny is our VSO, our Veteran Service representative. I think I first met John back in the mid-teens, somewhere in in 2015, 2016, and his commitment to the service of veterans is remarkable and certainly commendable, and I'm thankful for that. So excited that John's willing to serve our veterans in that capacity here at Franklin County. So thank you very much.
I agree with you.
I'd like to echo those words and just say thank you for doing such a fine job on such a quick notice. You're doing great. Keep it up. We have a lot of things that still need to be done, but thank you,
Yes.
Edgar.
Thank you very much for trusting me with this.
Yes, thank you. Planning and Economic Development Update presented by Wes McCart, Franklin County Planning and Economic Development Director. Good morning.
Good morning. Well, good morning, Commissioners. Got a couple handouts there I gave you. The first one I'll start with is just kind of give you an update overall on what the department is up to. So the first handout's the single sheet of paper here that has the current building permits that we've issued through the middle of May. And as you can see, residential, we're about 15 permits ahead of where we were last year. And on the commercial side of things, we're 11 permits ahead of where we were last year at this time. And I will tell you that I have several more going. Also, revenue is tracking up. We've seen a lot of commercial activity this year, a lot more than I feel like. I know a lot of residential was happening at the end of last year. But we're seeing a lot more of the commercial work, and unfortunately with the commercial work, it takes a lot of time. We end up doing multiple pre-app meetings with different clients on these different projects, coordinating with them. So they do take up a lot of staff time. While we're happy to do it, that's part of our job. On the planning side of things, it's a little hard to give you a sheet to compare one year to the next. But I will share with you that overall, the number of applications we've had come in 2026 has been about the same as what we were in 25. So it really hasn't slowed down. But the types of permits we're seeing this year are I'm going to say vastly different. We haven't had any PUDs come in. Obviously, you guys have seen some of the CUPs on a monthly basis almost. That we get. But we've seen a lot of boundary line adjustments this year. We are at 10 boundary line adjustments that have been done this year compared to 14 of last year, all of last year. I'm not quite sure what's going on out there, but folks want to move the property lines around for whatever reason, and that seems to be a big thing coming through right now. We've also seen the variety of permits that have come in this year be vastly different than what we had last year. We've had multiple zone changes requests. We're at 5 now for the year. That seems to be a little high. We've got a couple of variances coming. We've had a couple of different substantial shoreline development permits that we've issued, and we've had to deal with several floodplain applications. So I think what we're seeing this year is the complexity of our permits that are coming in has been, I'm going to say, vastly increased over what it was in 2025. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I will tell you that the department has stepped up to meet those challenges. We have about 1 to 2 pre-app meetings that we're doing a week with different folks that are interested. Our phones are constantly steady with people and emails coming in, people asking about property. I had one yesterday. A gentleman was interested in bringing in I think it was a 30,000 head chicken farm. Was looking at a piece of property to bring it. He's in King County and wants to move to Franklin County. So I was looking for a piece of property here to move his free-range chicken farm over here. I want to thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me to purchase that smart board. It has been a huge, huge boon for the office. The clients come in, folks come in and they got project, we can bring up their project, we can give them different alternatives. A lot of times we can find an easier way for them to do what they want to do when they're splitting their property or moving boundary lines around or just trying to figure out what to do, if anything. So that's been a nice addition. I will share with you, gentlemen, that our current fire marshal has been totally non-responsive, and with the amount of commercial projects we have and the complexity of those, I really need a fire marshal who will be responsive. And I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I'm just trying to be honest with you, gentlemen. I have reached out, my building official has reached out multiple times, and we have been unable to get a hold of him. And that is creating a huge problem. We're relying a lot on the fire chiefs out there. They have done a fantastic job, but they can't make any decisions. So we really need the input of a fire marshal. So just something for you guys to think about moving forward. Next, I want to give you an update on our SmartGov process. This is our online permitting process that we're trying to move to. My target was to try and get out in early spring. Obviously, I missed that target by a lot. The gentleman did allow me to spend some funds to train some of our staff internally to be able to alter our applications and put them on. My staff has been working since that very first time, several months, all 5-6 months on that. They're doing a fantastic job. I think it was the right move to bring it in internally. All of our applications have had to been redone. They just weren't up to par to be able to use the SmartGov program. So that's why it's taking a lot longer. We've also added a lot of applications. We recently have a project up in Connell that has some hazardous substances. One is asbestos, the other is mercury lighting, some different things in the project site. So we've started some hazardous project permits on the commercial end. So we've had to do a lot to develop the commercial end of applications, and we're also trying to simplify on the planning side the applications moving forward. Building side, we're just about done with the applications and trying to get that ready to go to be able to open it up. Planning side, we're about half done. But anytime anybody has any spare time, they're working on trying to get that implemented. Again, I'd like to see us, at least by the fall, get that implemented. There's also the need for the fees. I know we had that fee schedule workshop few months ago. I haven't just put that on the back burner. It goes hand in hand with making sure that I have these aligned with the applications that we're actually going to have online. So I will be bringing that forward to you about the time we're ready to go live on that. Next, if you want to look at the other handout I gave you. And so this is a PowerPoint presentation. I just want to highlight a couple different things in it. About 3 pages in, you'll see that we held 3 open houses. One at Pasco High School, we had 5 attendees. Connell High School, we had 6 attendees. And Markham Elementary, we had 10 attendees. We had some, for the entire county, we only had 21 people show up to our open houses. It was a good event. We got some good input from the folks that were there, but I would have loved to had more people show up. And I will tell you that we did, and in here it shows what we did for let's see if I have that.
It's like 6 pages
Oh,
in.
Yeah. So we started a Facebook page. We put it out on Facebook. We have a project website. We put legal ads out in the graphic. We put a flyer out. We did media coverage. I did 2 TV interviews. I've done more TV interviews here in the last year and a half than I think I did 12 years prior.
Brian, can we just kind of put him on the docket to do the interviews for us?
No. Please, no.
You brought it up.
Yeah, it's not something I relish doing, gentlemen. And then we did also have a survey that was out for about a month and a half. We had 47 participants. This was advertised again in all those different spots. We had QR codes and handouts when we did the open houses. We tried to recruit people to get online, but the surveys, again, with only about 47 people showed up in the surveys, so it's not statistically significant. Again, some good input, but what I really want to emphasize, and I know you gentlemen did this a couple of weeks ago when I wasn't here that week, but I want to emphasize it again. We get these complicated projects, and folks don't like the project that's going in next to them, but it's allowed into the code. And now is the time to be involved while we're making the code. Once somebody puts an application in under the current code, it's vested. And we have an obligation as a county to move forward with that vested application under the code which we adopt. So if you don't like projects that might be next to you, or what kind of projects, or there might be some conflicts, start thinking about those things that you wouldn't want to see or that you would want to see, and please put the input in. You can go to our Franklin County webpage, go to the planning and building, and right there, when you land on that page, is all the information. You can send in email comments, you can call us, you can go to the website that we've set up for this and put comments in that way. You can email us comments. Any kind of input you have whatsoever, we want to hear. The more we hear, the better job we can do.
Yes. Yeah, sure. Something that just popped into my head is that I agree with you. That that approach means that we are counting on people reaching out to us or responding to like one of our deal. My question would be, what if we went to like a home builders meeting? Or like if you went and you asked for developers to, I think you might get a little bit more folks that have skin in the game / you might have a better reach out than 47 or 21.
Yeah, we actually did outreach to them. on this stuff, and I've made it an open invitation to anyone, anytime. I'll schedule to meet with any group to go over any comments they might
I mean, go
wanna
to
have.
theirs though, not to schedule to come to you. That's usually, that's.
Okay.
I think we
can-
want to be careful because of the notice requirement for the meetings. So if we're going to go to their meeting, we'd have to do the same sort of public notice of that meeting.
To do what he's doing now, to talk about like, hey, we're gonna be having a comprehensive plan update. If you wish to participate, you can't go say that at a Clone Builders meeting?
I guess if it's just that, but if it's go ahead.
I can as as a department head, I'm not a decision maker. I can
Yeah.
go without advertising a public notice.
I think you might get more juice out of that squeeze,
Yeah.
personally.
Yeah. Good comment. Thank you. I'll try and follow up with some of that. So just to give you kind of an update of where we are in the process of the comp plan update and the development regulations. Comp plan, I expect draft elements in about 2 weeks. I have a deadline of June 22nd to turn it into the grant. They won't be done completely with the comp plan elements, but they're going to be in what I'm going to say rough draft. We've spent a great amount of time in my office drafting new goals, policies, the climate element. We've drafted all the policies, goals, and policies for the climate element, and then the long range planner that you were allowed me to hire has done a great job of actually writing the narrative for that and draft. So the consultant is fine tuned that a little bit, but essentially we've given the consultant the work on that. So I think we've saved the county a little bit of money on that particular situation. So hopefully we have something here in about another month for you guys to start looking at hardcore to more than just the little ditties I gave you for goals and policies. But on the development regulations, we're going full bore on the development regulations right now. Staff has been taking notes of things that need to change. I'm going to say, 14, 16, 17, and 18 titles will all be updated. These are all part of the process. Use tables, the use tables we have right now, which are basically, if it's not in the use table, you're really not allowed to do it. And it's a few pages long in very big font. Doesn't have very many uses. So we've done a lot of comparison. In the next few days, we're going to be going over that to try and get our use tables up. We've done some work on trying to simplify the limited areas of more intense rural development, the LAMRDs. For some reason, the county decided in the past to have, there's 3 different types of LAMRDs, and then they took each one of those types and they kind of further divided it down. My goal in this process is to simplify that. If the state law says we have 3 different types, then why does Franklin County need to have 9 different types of LAMRDs? Let's just go back to the 3 that are in the law and use that. Seems like a much simpler, easier process to understand. Zoning, we're going to be doing the same thing. We've gone through and done some comparisons of some other zones. I will tell you our goal in this is to protect people's vested development rights that they have now. So the changes we make are going to be more in titles than it will be an actual effect to anybody's property. I do not want to downzone somebody. Obviously, we're going to be adding the hearing examiner. My emphasis has been on rural and ag, and to protect property rights. What I shared with folks in the open houses, and I got great feedback on, was to put appropriate sideboards on things. One of the things I know you gentlemen have been a little frustrated over, as well as my department, is the constant need for everything to go through the CUP process. Those things which really don't need a lot of review, I would like to make outright permitted. Those things that need some cursory review, make administratively conditional use, And those things that really do need to come to you gentlemen or to the hearing examiner would be the conditional use permits. I also want to report very quickly on the shrub step. We are working with the same consultants that have been doing them for Benton County and some of the other outlying areas, Grant County, I think Yakima County. Our maps are just about done. I have a matrix that's just about ready to go. Commissioner Baumann, I do want to reach out to you to have some conversation, because I know you've been the one that's been on all those meetings on the shrub step, to just kind of share some of the details on that before I get into negotiations with the Department of Fish and Wildlife. And then just a couple things on the staff. I really do want to thank my staff. I have some great people. When I first got here, they were rudderless. I just want to be honest with you, gentlemen. They were kind of left to fend on their own, and we didn't have a team. And the office is working as a team now, and it's made a huge, huge difference. I have been down all year with one building. I'm down one building inspector. We've managed to muddle through. I'm still looking for a building inspector. Again, complexity of the permits that we've been seeing and the projects we've been seeing coming forth have been, a little taxing. Sometimes we have to go back and do quite a bit of little research to do it. I did get the opportunity through a cost reimbursement grant to send one of my folks to some training for some floodplain. That'll be a huge boon to the entire county. Of course, we've paid for the SmartGov training, but my desire is that when we get this comp plan and SmartGov rolled out, is that I still would like, there's a need for continued training in the department. So I just want to put some emphasis there and put that as something I'm going to be requesting in the future. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Yes.
I can just brag on both the gentlemen that gave updates today. Both Edgar and Wes are folks that require, not very much no micromanagement whatsoever, and are just self-starters. And so when Wes says it to you, he means business. So thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
No questions for me, just appreciate all the work that you've been doing. I got some digesting to do on that, and yeah, happy to sit down with you about shrub step and looking at the draft comprehensive plan. Appreciate all the hard work, and I know that you know this, being a 3-term county commissioner yourself, but when you don't get phone calls, normally that means good things. And so I've been getting less and less phone calls, and so I know that you appreciate what I mean by that, so thank you.
Thank you.
So if the public wants to get more involved, how do they get in touch with you? Or
So the main way they can get a hold of me is to take and go to our Franklin County website, land on the Planning and Economic Development Department, and there's a myriad of ways right there.
All right.
My phone number's there. I do take phone calls all the time. Happy to do that. Happy to talk with any group on any of this stuff to try and get further input.
All right, thank you.
I just want to say thank you, Wes.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's much appreciated. Commissioner Administrator updates, Mr. Danson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and gentlemen. This week I met with various elected officials, met with you gentlemen, obviously. But for today is kind of a special day. I've got two kind of special things to announce. The first one was, Kim, if you wouldn't mind coming up. And we've got a new public records officer I'd like to introduce you to. This is Kim Villacorta. Did I get that correct?
Yes, Kimberly
Okay,
Villacorta,
okay,
yes.
very good.
Good morning.
And just wanted you to introduce yourself.
Good morning, Mr. Baumann. We have met before. As for the rest of our commissioners, I don't believe we've had the pleasure. My name is Kimberly Villacorta. I was originally a Role 9 in the prosecutor's office, and I'm currently the new public records officer. It's been a pretty smooth transition, trying to keep track of everything. It's really honing in my my ways of categorizing everything correctly and being able to keep track of everything. So I'm really excited in joining this new kind of area of law. I feel like I would say, you know, I was in the criminal sector, and now I'm in the civil side. So I'm really excited, and I'm very happy to meet you all here today.
Nice to meet you and welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And then Teresa, I don't know, did you have that letter that we all signed? Could I maybe get that? The next folks that I'd like to ask to come up are Chief Keelan Harmon and Captain Jeremy Jansky. And gentlemen, the reason I'm asking for them and making this part of the update is these two gentlemen traveled up to Spokane and got our plaques for certification for being accredited at the Franklin County Department of Corrections, the Franklin County Jail. And I just simply put, it just wouldn't happen without their leadership.
Well, thank you. You know, before the split, we had already been accredited, and after the split happened, the sheriff took our accreditation away from us. And you know, those are unknowns, whether we get it back or not. And thanks to this guy here, Captain Jansky, he kept us on track, and I think we got it back in 7 months. Close to it. Yeah, close to it. And so then on the first part of this month, we went to the WASPIC up in Spokane, and we did it. We got it done. So it was nice. And I appreciate, you know, it's not just me, but the team. It is a team effort. It's not, you know, everybody pulled their weight, and the captain kept us in line, and we finally got it done. So I appreciate them very much.
Thank you for all your hard work, and what a great job and a great accomplishment. So thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely spectacular. If I remember the statistics correctly, there's 60 jails in the state of Washington, and the Franklin County Department of Corrections is now one of 8 that has this accreditation.
Correct.
Congratulations.
Numbers are close. I don't know if there was any others, but yeah, we're close to about the 8. So
That's remarkable. Thank you both for your dedication and for your service to Franklin County and to this community, and to your craft of taking care of and serving in a way that most don't even understand. And hats off to both of you. Thank you.
As I would like to say also, and you know, we're not getting any more reports of problems from the jail, and I really appreciate the fact of your leadership and giving dignity to those prisoners. Thank you. You guys are doing a great job. How's the commissary fund doing?
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, it's doing pretty good. We opened it up with the second meal that families could actually order, and that on Tuesday seems to be the hot ticket right now. And a lot of orders coming in.
And also the tablets?
Yes, tablets. Jansky, you could speak a little bit about
That's
that.
really brought up the morale, right? I mean, not of the guards, but of the prisoners, the people that are in there.
Oh yes, they get the infractions and destruction of the facility has drastically dropped. The
Excellent.
less fights in the facility, they're more preoccupied. They get to text message their loved ones on the outside. They do get to purchase and listen to music or movies. It's a bit odd, like some of the officers, you know, you walk in and where's that music coming from? But you can hear it kind of faintly through their earbuds. So it's been very successful.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you're doing.
Yeah, one of the programs we started in I believe it was 2019 was the SCR program, which is basically like a making it work program, and we had 6 people in that program. And then COVID hit, and then that program went away, and we started the new program. And as of last week, we had like 32 people sign up to be part of that program through the chaplaincy, and it's been great to watch people, you know, actually want to be there and see emails offenders writing emails saying this is the best program. I've been in a lot of jails in the state of Washington. It's the best program we've ever seen or been involved in. So it's been nice.
Just want to say thank you for great turnaround, and like I said, we're not hearing any issues, so that is great news, and you guys are doing a fantastic job, and we do appreciate it.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, with your permission, I'd like to read this into the record and to our jail chief and captain and to each one of your officers. So if you're okay with that.
Yes, I am.
Mr. Chairman, thank you. To all the staff of the Franklin County Department of Corrections, on behalf of the Franklin County Board of Commissioners, we are writing to extend our highest praise, deepest gratitude, and warmest congratulations to each and every member of the Franklin County Department of Corrections. It is with great pride that we recognize your unwavering commitment to public safety and your exceptional service to the citizens of Franklin County. Operating a correctional facility is a complex and demanding responsibility that requires tremendous resilience, professionalism, and teamwork. Under the exceptional leadership of Chief Harmon and Captain Jansky, you have successfully navigated the daily operations of the jail with utmost integrity and diligence. Chief Harmon and Captain Jansky frequently keep us informed of the outstanding work you are doing on the ground, and it is a consistent pleasure to hear about the dedication and professionalism demonstrated across all shifts and duties. We are especially grateful for your exceptional dedication during the recent transition. Most notably, we want to offer our hearty congratulations and thank you for your instrumental role in achieving formal department accreditation. This prestigious milestone is a direct reflection of your hard work, adherence to rigorous standards, and continuous pursuit of operational excellence. Attaining this status demands an extraordinarily collective effort, meticulous attention to detail, and a shared vision of excellence. Your perseverance through this process has been outstanding. Please know that your daily efforts do not go unnoticed. You are a credit to Franklin County, representing the very best of public service in our region. Thank you for your continued dedication, your professionalism under pressure, and your vital contributions to our community's safety and well-being. Chief, Captain, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Let's get a picture
Absolutely.
with them.
Yeah, let's do this. You guys can hold these.
You guys hold those. I'll hold the.
Oh, yeah, hold the. Well, we got one. We got so much stuff to hold. It's crazy. Here you go. Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Why don't you hold that? All right, let me grab. You got it, Jim?
Brian, can you please with them too? Would you mind if I take a picture with them too?
You want to take a picture with
No.
them?
Can I take a picture?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Brian didn't get in there?
Well, for me, it's like this. Thank you. You just eliminated my double chin. I appreciate it. You see how she did it from low down like that? Hey. So appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Keep up the great work.
Absolutely.
And gentlemen, that is my update.
That's
Good job,
That's
Brian.
going to be tough to top right there now.
Oh, one more, actually, I have one more thing. This is something that's as personal and as special to me, but today is my mom and dad, and I love my mom and dad, and I don't apologize for saying that even. I love my mom and dad so much. It's their 54th wedding anniversary today.
Wow.
So they've been together 54 years, and I just wanted to announce that because I get to, dang it.
Remarkable. Congratulations. Commissioner Bauman.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will certainly not attempt to top that. Three things. Was able to attend the the Columbia Basin Veterans Center Memorial Day Remembrance Run, or as I say, the Dad Shuffle. And it was the first annual remembrance run that they held, and was excited to be a part of that. Agenda meeting with our administrator, and then had a conversation with the Southeastern Regional Director for the Washington State Department of Transportation. I ask that we somehow get on the list where that we find out what their plans are before we read it in the newspaper. And I invited them to come and do a workshop about what the crash prevention zones will look like as it is soon to be enacted into law. And so talk to our administrator about that, and I think maybe in the upcoming sometime that they can come and explain to us what that might look like in working with them. And so, Mr. Chairman, that's my report.
Commissioner Didier.
Also, I have a short report. Just want to report on the Department of Ecology with their water quality laws are after it again. They're attacking a gentleman by the name of Chuck Rogers and his wife. They've actually arrested him. It rained heavily on the west side where they're from. They said they were dealing with wetlands. 3 days' time, it was dry dirt, clear down in the hole, but it shows that the Department of Ecology out there, they fined them $204,000, and they're trying to take away their farm. Wetlands. Because it rained so heavy, it was wet, and they went out there, they dug a hole, the water was running in it, and they said there's wetlands. They have the whole videos right here, you can watch it. It is ridiculous. This is our Department of Ecology. They are after the farmers. Seattle, posts are out there. Seattle is now vacant. Buildings are empty. Disposable income for the people of Washington State is at an all-time low. And we have people that are signing up at a record rate against this new law that Ferguson signed into to tax income tax, basically is what it is. So if you haven't signed those petitions, I haven't seen one. I want to sign one. But they are overwhelmingly getting the numbers that they need. It's going to be astronomical, but we know where it's going to go. It's going to go to the state Supreme Court. They always have a way of ruling with our state government. Monday, I went to the Country Mercantile. I was ordered by the boss of the house to go get some salsa and chips. I went there, and that place was packed, completely packed full of cars. And so slowing this down 5 miles an hour is not going to help. Talked with a gentleman that was at that meeting we had at HAPO, and he said that, yes, I think the lights would be the answer. Everybody knows a traffic signal. They know when to stop and they know when to go. Otherwise, you're chancing trying to cross that road. I do it all the time, and that road is getting so busy that it is going to be tough to get across that road in the future. The last thing I'd like to report on is I sat down and watched the 3-part series on Lincoln, and I encourage everybody to watch that on Netflix if you got Netflix. It is an incredible testimony to Abraham Lincoln and the pressures that he went through. And he wasn't a religious man, but you can tell he was anointed to carry us through that time of Civil War and to liberate every man, that we're all created equally in God's image. It's a very good. I'm watching it for a second time with my grandkids. It's that good. So that's the end of my report.
All right, thank you. Numerous meetings with Brian, Mr. Danzel. Visit Tri-Cities. Tourism's down just slightly, but I think that has to do with people's lack of disposable income and the high gas prices. But they do an outstanding job over there, and that is funded by your hotel motel tax. And I just want to give them a shout out and kudos. They do a great job. So, thank you. Correspondence.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In your binder, you'll see under the correspondence tab a couple of pieces of correspondence from Larry Ziegler. One is that the OPD was awarded a $180,000 and change grant to be signed for by at the beginning of the state fiscal year. And then another one pertains to wages and step and grade. And then I got a late incoming one this morning, and this is from Nancy Roach. You'll remember Miss Roach was here last week, and she's inviting us on a VIP tour of the Recovery Center this Friday at 3 p.m. So I'm going to take one if you'd pass one down, but that's the correspondence that I have for this week, gentlemen.
Thank you.
The outgoing correspondence was the tribute that Commissioner Bauman so eloquently read. So thank you.
All right, is public comment? Is there anyone in the room for public comment? If so, please come forward, state your name, and you have 3 minutes.
Marcy Torres from Franklin County. Yesterday they announced on, I can't remember which, in the internet, that there was a guy that was finally sentenced to 15 years in jail for theft. I looked up his name, and he had previously had 12 different cases of crimes. And of course, with those crimes came public defenders, 12 different public defenders that dated back to 12 years back. So I do have an issue when you have prosecutors that sit on cases like Mike Rio. He's known for sitting on cases, creating job security, and just milking taxpayer dollars after dollar after dollar. And the real criminals that should be in jail are walking free. And then they come back, another crime and another plea and another public defender that we're paying for. These kids that were sitting here, that's where our money should be going. Why do we continue to enable bad behavior? It's like, oh, you committed a crime, let's give you a cookie, and we're gonna give you a star. This needs to stop. Mike Rio tried to prosecute me, a working mom, for nothing, over false allegations of abuse, of a man that's taller than me, that has a record, and he tried to put me in jail. But a man who had 12 different crimes, 12 different public defenders for 12 different years. How much money did we spend on that? And then we're paying the judges. The same judges we've been coming to speak about are sitting on these cases. Why? This is insane. And this needs to stop. Jackie Stam, Bronson Brown, Norma Rodriguez, the same bunch every single time. It's like we're not seeing the real thing of what's going on. In Seattle, there was an attorney that resigned her license to practice law. You know why? Because of fraud. Because people came together and exposed the fact that she had been committing fraud. So you know what? Friday, we have an attorney coming into town. And we're not playing around. Hundreds of people that have been wronged by these judges and these attorneys. And we're gonna start taking action, because this will not continue to happen. And I would encourage you guys to go to court and sit down at some of these hearings and pay attention to what's happening, because you guys are our leaders. And it's important for you guys to know this is gonna affect everyone in Franklin County. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment?
I'm Melissa Good, and I'm a member of this community. And I really don't want to be here. It's really hard to keep coming back and talk about this. It's traumatic. But I'm here because I want parents to know what goes on, what really goes on, because I was completely ignorant. I made a false assumption. I thought that schools were still being run by administration the way they were when I was a kid. I thought there was accountability. I thought there was justice. I thought that there was oversight, true oversight and caring about our kids. What's right and what's wrong. What's acceptable behavior, what's unacceptable behavior. Boy, was I wrong. I was so wrong, and boy, was it a clobber across the face and kick in the ass. So I'm here because I just want everyone to understand how bad this is, what a giant lack of accountability there is for our teachers now. And I'm honestly not sure if it's really completely the teachers' unions that are so strong. I understand they're very, very, very strong. But what about the responsibility and obligation of administration to protect children? Because we send our kids to school and we tell our kids, you will listen, you will show respect, you will do what you are told. And these teachers are in a position of authority and trust. Don't they have to be respectable and trustworthy for us to continue to safely do that with our children? Yes, we all feel that way as parents. We're going to have that expectation of our children. The adults in the room had better be trustworthy and accountable and decent human beings. This is another photo of a young girl of what he's watching. It says, "Point of view, we are on a date and I find out that you could be my dad." She looks maybe 16 years old. As you're watching what she's providing for her content, she is emulating sex acts with objects. This is what he's watching. This is what he's subscribed to. And she's a girl. What? I don't understand this. How can this be okay in administrators' eyes? Here's another young athlete. He follows a lot of young athletes in very compromised positions. Look, you can see every part of her anatomy as she is bent over because she's diving in a swimsuit. He's watching all this content, young girls, with people that are filming them and sexualizing themselves. Did they consent to this? Who watches this stuff? People who are interested in watching young girls sexualize themselves or be sexualized. There's so much more to say, unfortunately.
Anyone else for public comment?
I really would like to drill down in more in those numbers that Ben Franklin Transit provides. You have thousands of people every day going back and forth in Connect vans or van pools to the area, to Coyote Ridge. And I want to note that the Connect vans were licensed in California. We didn't even get that. Now, more recently, they've changed over to Washington State. I am incensed that they still think they can continue to expand when they don't have the need. No business runs like that. Amtrak is another public transit that runs between here and Spokane. So now we have public transit acting like the free market at our expense. I appreciate your remarks about Lincoln. Some other things you may not know is that he was asked to be governor of Washington State and said we were too divided. Let that sink in. Where are we today? Even in the conservative movement, he also became religious when someone went to his home, according to David Barton's writings that are certified, when he was asked if he wanted to see his son in heaven. That turned him around. It was late in his life and after an incredible amount of loss. But I will move on from that because what's more important is that when we don't remember history, we forget it. The way we dealt with our constitutional issues, state and federal, were through First Amendment petitions. We got big agencies like Ecology or FBI or INS, whatever, that took that over because of massive growth of this free country. They became a part of the government and the people's voice was diminished. And I would say that home rule charter counties have done the same, especially King County. I looked at their amendment, their constitutional amendment in 1949. They said they were still under the Washington State Constitution. And it looks to me, by my research, about 2015, they decided not only to change what offices were partisan or not, but then decided to appoint a sheriff. Now that violates the Constitution. And right now, Nick Brown has been caught counseling, crossing separation of powers from executive to legislative with Jamie Peterson to do the income tax and get around our constitutional requirements. It is not constitutional, and no Supreme Court justice worth his weight in salt should be allowed to ride the bench. They have all taken an oath, and I will tell you that the Constitution is not something that generally goes to court. It's taken care of by the people and their government. You go to court if you're losing your life, your liberty, or your property. The people come to their government to redress grievances, to repair and restore it. And they come to this sovereignty. We are represented by those in the legislature. They do not tell us what to do, but that's how it's situated right now. We are tyrannized. We've bought their system, not the system we're supposed to have. The counties will rise.
Anyone else for public comment?
George is coming up.
Andy Revis again. I got my answer. I talked to Captain Jansky. I got the answer I was looking for. And I want to, two things. I want to thank you guys for giving us a platform here. You patiently and respectfully listen to us talk about our children getting taken, talk about family court. And again, you give us a platform and an opportunity to try to come up with a solution. I appreciate that. And the other thing I want to thank you guys for and appreciate is not blasting this drama in this county all over anywhere. You guys take care of business and let all the drama and finger pointing and mudslinging to somebody else. And I appreciate that. The clarification on the car was just a question I had. And Captain Jansky gave me the answer I needed. And so back to the family court thing. Like I said, a young lady that has no kids and has never had children can come to my house and do a forensic interview with my children without my knowledge and decide that she can parent my children better than I can, and she takes them without a warrant. She gets Steve Warren to take them without a warrant. Steve Warren told my wife that he saw no signs of abuse, nothing wrong with the children, but CPS wanted him to take them, so he was going to, without a warrant. And then we spent 6 years before they terminated my rights because they decided I was not following every jot and tittle. And just like Marcy said, a meth addict can get their kids, but a good, upstanding citizen has to cross every T, dot every I, do everything they request, and maybe they might, if the prosecuting attorney decides to, they might give you an hour of supervised visits, maybe. I never got any visits with my children from DCYF. My daughter did come back for a very short time and on her own came back and visited us until her attorney convinced her that we had bought her and paid $50,000 for her, which was a total lie. And we paid no money to anybody to get a daughter. We loved that daughter. We still love that daughter. But DCYF decided, and family court decided they knew better than we did.
George Dockstetter, Self Landing Road, Pasco. I'm going to bring it up again. I brought it up a couple weeks ago. The 5 of you sitting up there are the ones that are going to have to take the bull by the horns on the transit authority. you're gonna have Mr. Briggs look and see if we can do an initiative or something to get this reduced. $90 million in reserves is ridiculous for somebody running a public agency. They should be running on 0 reserves.
I thought they said 90.
90 is what he said.
Yes.
And I can't vote. I pay, but I don't have a say because I live outside the city limits. I don't get to vote on the transit authority. But you guys each have people within the city limits that you represent in your districts. So you need to take the step. Let's get an initiative going to reduce it even by 2/10 and turn that over to the mental health recovery deal to fund it, because we're going to have some real bills there with all the people that can't pay, have no insurance, and they are not going to get turned away. We need to do something to get the money into the county coffers to cover those bills that are coming. And the transit authority is a big old fat plum sitting there waiting to be plucked. It either needs to be plucked or give it to the birds. Thank you.
Anyone else for public comment? Is there a need for executive session today?
Yes, there is. Under RCW 4230-110-1I, litigation would need myself, the board, Mr. Danzel, and the clerk of the board. Additionally, we'll have Ms. Isom appearing for a portion of that, our HR director via telephone.
And also, we will have, for a portion of that, Matt Beaton, Tim Anderson, Rosa Gomez, and Ryan Brimacum joining us as well.
And for how long?
So, Mr. Chairman, may I ask for a brief recess before we go into this executive session?
We'll take a 10-minute recess before going into executive session. Thank you.
We're ready.
So we're back from recess. We're going to go into executive session under the same under this RCW code quoted earlier. For approximately 1 hour, the time is 11:15. We'll be back at 12:15. Thank you. We've come out of executive session with no decisions being made. We're going to go back into executive session for 20 minutes under the same RCW code. So we've come out of executive session. Is there any other business for the good of the county? Hearing none, this meeting is adjourned.
So Friday, comprehensive is supposed to be there. I don't think it's a good idea for all three commissioners being there.